Hi everyone, I'm Dan from JazzComposersPresent.com, an online space where composers, musicians, and listeners come together to celebrate the music we love. I'm joined today by Ayn Inserto, composer, conductor, Bob Brookmeyer protégé, and professor in jazz composition at Berklee College of Music. Ayn is here to show us Bob Brookmeyer's three-note collection exercise.
Hi, Dan. Thank you very much for having me today. Today I'll be talking about the three-note collection. This is a Bob Brookmeyer voice leading exercise that has departure and arrival points with multiple applications. The idea in this is to create a non-conventional type of harmonies that are rooted in linear origins. Let's take a look at the exercise. So you can see here we've given a departure point in measure 1, and that has 3 notes in it. And then when we get to measure 7, we have to arrive there. What you need to do is to move in the speed of half notes, and then trying to figure out how you can voice lead the best to that particular area. And you don't have to land on beat 1 of measure 7. That can also happen on beat 3. But the idea too is that trying not to use structures that are not conventional triads. So although occasionally you may have structures that resemble sesquichords, clusters, or quartal or quintal voicings, we try not to also use root position triads unless it makes sense to resolve to 1, but that rarely really happens. So right now, perhaps I can show you an example of this 3-note collection in this particular part. So you can see how I got to that arrival point. Again, this is a voice leading exercise, but it also has the idea of trying to make sure that we can come up with a bunch of material that has multiple applications. So let's look at the first application. So here with this particular application is to use the constant structure. So I like, for example, the first structure there that had a second, and then the fourth right above that. And so I just use that as material for like any sort of like harmonic material, and this is a non-conventional type of a sound. Here's another example of what you can do with it. We can use this as an upper structure in chords. So for example, just using the C, D, and G, and I place another note underneath that, you can see that we end up with an A flat major 7, or the same thing there with an F6-9 with no third, followed by the E flat major 7-13, and then a B flat 6-9. So in this application, you can see that we separated out all 3 lines, if you will. So we can see the voice leading that happened with our top line, that's a melody. We can also use the middle line, which has really some interesting shapes to it. As you can see, it's really contrasting with the top line. And then finally, the bottom line does have a little bit of chromaticism to it. You can choose whatever you want to do with these lines. They could be melodic material. They can be bass material. And then, like I said, you can also jump in between the lines if you want it to really have some sort of more angular type of application. But once again, you've generated material, and this is just a sort of a fun and different way to do so with a sense of organization, if you will. Finally, we're going to play a video here where you will be able to see my application of this 3-note collection. hope you found this information useful. That piece was called Dear John. It was my second album called Muse, if you want to check that out. I'd like to thank Jazz Composers Present for having me today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching today's mini lesson. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos in the comment section down below. To watch our full-length events and participate in live Q&As with our presenting artists, head over to jazzcomposerspresent.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.